Worship music for me is something that I can use to center myself in the chaos of life because worship is just prayer. It's simply prayer set to music, and so it almost doesn't even have to be worship music per se, but just slowing things down and sitting in the moment, putting on some worship music or inspirational music of some kind, and just being with God. And just sort of like pouring out my heart to the divine and just knowing that God cares what I'm going through, that He is walking through whatever I'm walking through with me, and there's such deep peace in that. And I think it's hard to get there sometimes, so music can be such a great catalyst because it slows everything down and sort of helps you focus inward, really.
Well, I think that maybe music is the only universal language across the globe. It's the only thing that every culture has their version of, and there's something divine and kind of inexplicable about the way that worship music connects all of us. You can hear a worship song in another language and not understand the language itself, and still you feel yourself. There's something that goes on in your spirit, you know what I mean? Something that you can't really, like I said, you can't really describe it. There is something that connects us all on a soul level with worship music. And I think the thing that I'm looking for is it's the divine. It's speaking about the divine. We don't have to do it in the same language. We don't have to do it in a way that everybody understands necessarily, but we're connected on this foundational level by it. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. And it's something that we've said for a long time. I mean, every time we play shows, there's something that connects us in worship music. And I think it's the presence of the Holy Spirit that we talk about.
To me, being aware that we're not entitled to anything, that everything we have is a gift. If you carry that with you at all times, then you can worship all the time. If you have a spirit of gratitude and thankfulness to God for what you have and for who you are and the people in your life, then
that is a form of worship. Yeah. I think there's all different kinds of worship, ways to go about taking on the spirit of worship. And we've mentioned this a couple different times, but it's in the everyday. It doesn't have to be, in a church setting. It doesn't even have to be in a music setting necessarily. It can be moments where you're just aware that the divine and that God is just here among us. And it's in a moment of love. It's a love exchange to me. Whether that's a conversation with a friend, conversation with a spouse, noticing a child. There's so many different moments that to me could be defined as worship. And it's about recognizing where the divine is, because He's always here. He's always among us. But just taking note of those moments, I think that's worship.